That Ghost and Price standoff in the Modern Warfare 4 trailer, the one the entire community is losing their minds over, never happens in-game. It's a lie, and I didn't believe it myself at first, but there is too much evidence and too many things that don't add up for this scene to be real. So let's dive into it for a second. If you watched any of my videos before, you will know I am a Call of Duty nerd. I live inside the trailers and inside the small details, so here's what we're working with. In the Modern Warfare 4 reveal, we get this shot. Ghost and Price squaring up on the glass roof of a skyscraper, knives drawn, pointing at each other, and the two pillars of Task Force 141 are fighting each other. The internet immediately blew up and decided that this means Price is going fully rogue and Ghost is hunting him down and they're going to try to kill each other. But the scene is hiding three problems. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. So let's take a look at the first one. Starting off with Ghost. Something is very wrong here and it's not your eyes playing tricks. First of all, the mask. This isn't his current skull balaclava, it's the older style mask, the original Modern Warfare Trilogy style mask. And Ghost has only ever worn this mask in one mission in the entire rebooted universe. So why, after so many years of seeing Ghost with the same skull mask, does he suddenly change it? Especially with a pre-order bonus for Ghost having a newer version of his new mask. It doesn't make sense, and his balaclava being off here kind of throws me off a little bit. Specifically when you see him speak, it looks like it's just his jaw moving up and down with the mask, and I don't think it looks quite right. Now, the second one, and this is a big one, his uniform doesn't say Task Force 141. It says SAS, the British Special Forces unit, his old unit from before 141 ever existed. So why does this matter? Well, it tells us one of two things. Either this is a version of Ghost and Price from before Task Force 141 was ever formed, and we know that's not true because Captain Price is much older and much rougher shape from Modern Warfare 4, or Task Force 141 has been broken apart in Modern Warfare 4 and Ghost has gone back to the SAS, but this scene was created to make us think that Ghost was hunting down Price. Either way, the standoff that everyone thinks they're seeing, the two current teammates turning on each other, is already wrong. The uniform alone breaks it apart in Modern Warfare 4. But there's more. The biggest piece of evidence for why we know this scene isn't real. The one where it clicks. Call of Duty has a pattern. It's not the first time that Call of Duty has built a trailer to mislead us. They do it over and over again. Specifically with the recent Modern Warfare trailers from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, there was a lot of misleads and misdirects in the trailers themselves. In Modern Warfare 2's 2022's trailer, the very first teaser that we got was a shot of Hassan on a satellite driving through the city of Al Mazrah. That whole sequence never happened anywhere in the campaign. Then we have in the Modern Warfare 2 reveal trailer itself, the very last shot is this very dramatic look of the entire unit of Task Force 141 in this underground tunnel together, and it's not that way in the campaign. In the campaign, we get to this shot in the second to last mission, and when we actually see it, it's Gaz and Price alongside Alejandro and a random Mexican Special Forces operator. Ghost and Soap are not included in the scene. The full team shot that they sold us for the trailer never happened the way they framed it. And then we go into Modern Warfare 3. The trailer had two big reveals for us. The first was that it seemingly showed us Price just straight up dying in the trailer. That never happened in the campaign. He just passed out and came back too. They were trying to indicate that Price might die, and there's this whole big reveal with it. Then, in the trailer itself, we saw soldiers in black and red breaking someone out of a Russian gulag. Now here's the kicker. The pre-order bonus was Soap wearing the exact same uniform as those soldiers. So everyone assumed that it was Task Force 141 breaking someone out of prison. But in the actual campaign, it was the villains. It was the Koenig group breaking Makarov out of prison. The complete opposite of what the trailer led us to believe. And Call of Duty really likes to kind of stage these shots, these trailer moments, specifically to point us in the wrong direction so we don't guess at the campaign. Which means when I see Ghost and Price on a rooftop in the most pivotal scene of the trailer, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I thought, man, I think it's a piece of bait. And then when you actually dive into it technically, like I'm about to show you in this next piece of evidence, it breaks even further. And this is where it goes from theory to proof. Let's just forget the lore for a second, forget the story, and just look at the shot technically, because there's a couple things in this shot that are already wrong. Specifically, the render quality is significantly different between Price and Ghost. Price is rendered in ultra high detail, and even with the blur, you can see all of his strands of hair, every line on his face, and he looks finished. But Ghost, standing right next to him in another close-up similar shot, looks lower quality. He's pixelated in spots, his scarf doesn't have the full detail that's required, and the pattern looks off. There just isn't the same amount of detail in some of the features of the character. And that's a hint to me that this is actually a multiplayer skin that was dropped into the scene over top of the original character. But let's look at number 2. The magazine pouches. On Ghost's chest, move independently of his body, like they aren't actually attached to his vest. And you can see it right at the end of the trailer here. His magazine pouches on his vest continue to move upward until the end of the scene, like they start below his belly button and move up to about the middle of his chest. But if you look, his vest itself never moves. It's just the magazine pouches, indicating that this is something that they might have stitched together by just replacing the character in the scene with Ghost. And that brings me to number 3, the most important part of this, the audio. Ghost says, "You broke a lot of rules, Price. Casual, even is standoffish." And then Price answers, "No more rules." But something's wrong here. The audio doesn't match. Take a listen here.
"You broke a lot of rules, Price. No more rules."
Price's line is way louder. It's a different mix made for a different space, and it sounds like that line was pulled from somewhere else in the campaign where he was like in a hallway or something, and dropped right in here to make this scene hit harder. So when you put it all together, there's a mismatched render, floating gear that isn't even attached, and a voice line clearly lifted from another scene. This is not a real campaign moment. This is a trailer assembled to give us a reaction, and it worked. So if it's not a fight between two teammates, what is it? Well, here's what I think happened. I think there is a standoff scene between Captain Price and another villain who are both using knives in the scene. However, they don't want to reveal who that main villain of Modern Warfare 4 is, because we still don't know who the villain is. So instead of showing us who the villain of Modern Warfare 4 is, they just simply dropped in Ghost over top of it to give us the impression that Ghost and Captain Price were trying to kill each other and that they are at odds. I do think that Captain Price and Ghost will be at odds in the campaign, but I don't think they're going to try to kill each other, and more specifically, I think that this scene will be a lot like what we saw from the Modern Warfare 2 trailer at the very end, where it's a modified version of the original scene that we just haven't quite seen yet. And I don't think the scene is real because it doesn't really match up with the story also. If you want to know everything I know about the Modern Warfare 4 campaign and the story, click on the video here, but tell me in the comments down below, do you think this scene is real, or have I presented enough evidence to convince you that this is likely fake? So until next time, I am IceBurgz, stay frosty.